I'm not sure if it was the first time I met Eric, but my first memory of Eric is when we put a call out, I think during Sukkot, for anybody who wanted to play guitar with Kane or Kathy. And Eric was a 7th grader, and he came out with his guitar, and his dad stood next to him in what will soon be our Mishkan out there on the patio, and he strummed away at his guitar as we sang around a campfire. And then I got to know him as the kid who would, in your younger years especially, annoy Shayla. All the kids, the thing about Shayla taught in our religious school, and all the kids adore Shayla. They like follow her around, really. They like follow her around the school, and then Eric would come in, and he would know what to do to make Shayla mad in front of all of the other kids. As a teen, I got to know Eric as an avid car fanatic, and so he continues even yesterday when we were practicing for his Torah. He was still explaining. In fact, I called today and told him what he said about what was wrong with my car. I said, my expert told me it's the brake fluid. Because no one knows cars like Eric, because he's been racing for years, long before he had the ability to drive. And soon he will be a student at the University of Akron, where he's really already been a student through the high school program, and more or less starting into your sophomore year, correct? Yeah. So it's a great honor to invite Eric to share a few words with us this Shabbat.
All right. When I was asked to write this speech, I had to do a lot of thinking. What does it mean to be Jewish now? Personally, that was a difficult question because I never thought about feeling Jewish as a mature process. So let's start from the beginning. Growing up in Akron, Ohio feels more like extracurricular activities. It's the things you do as a kid that's not school. I learned that being Jewish and going to temple equaled extra school. So that wasn't cool, but I learned a lot about my heritage and religion. Most importantly, I learned that to have fun and at temple and have faith in God. The first part I learned is from my sister, who is a Sunday school teacher, Shayla, and Lauren, which makes temple just so much fun when I come. And my parents, who also made me go, right? Wouldn't start without that. And I learned my faith in God from many places, like at home, here at temple, my parents, going to Boy Scouts, and that's just like the basis. I must be committed to Judaism because, according to 2021 Gallup poll, America's membership in houses of worship continue to decline in the last year, unfortunately, dropping below 50% for the first time in Gallup's 8-decade trend. In 2020, 47% of Americans said they belong to a church, synagogue, or mosque, down from 50% in 2018, and down from 70% in 1999. And here I stand, 18 years old, speaking to my congregation, like earning my Eagle Scout. My continued participation at temple is more common than rare, or rare than common. Today I find God everywhere, at home, my extended family, at temple, and even at the racetrack. I always say a blessing before I go out on the track, but that's just God's generic sense. What about being Jewish? What I find most meaningful about being Jewish in a sense of belonging is that I'm special in a manner where you cannot simply just decide. For example, one cannot just wake up tomorrow and simply identify as Jewish. You must put the effort in, and you must have the courage to be Jewish. In fact, it probably benefits many people to not identify as Jewish. Trust me, life's a little bit easier when you're trying to get breakfast at McDonald's and you don't need to say, I'd like an Egg McMuffin without Canadian bacon. You laugh, but you don't understand what it's like to scarf down breakfast on race day somewhere else in the country and not have mom's home-cooked meals. This year, I'm starting my next journey as a mechanical engineering student at the University of Akron. I'll find some time to spend at Hillel so I can stay close to my Judaism. It makes me proud to know my people work hard to become educated. It makes me proud to know how hard we work to earn what we have. It makes me proud to see the legacy of internationally recognized professionals that are all mishpacha. From the significant number of Nobel laureates to the national and local politicians to the judges and other professionals who are all Jewish, I won't let them or myself down. One day, God willing, there will be a professional race car driver champion who is Jewish. And maybe he will pull a Sandy Koufax and not race on Yom Kippur because he's proud to be Jewish. Thank you.
I can easily say that Haylie was the first student I got to know at Temple Israel because we started working on her bat mitzvah before I had even moved here. And then she joined us a year later on our trip to New York, which is not really for 8th graders, but seeing as she had already had her bat mitzvah and her friends, a number of her friends were going on the trip, she joined a bunch of high school kids trekking around New York City with Becky Rubenstein and myself. And then as we got to know each other in our teen program, we got to see Haylie's resilient nature with a number of, every time she would come, we would ask for an update on what her teams were doing, which is why when she was injured a few times, sometimes seriously, we knew how seriously she took it, and it was wonderful to see her come back. And to see her smile and her joy, and to be with the group this year as a senior. She became one of our most reliable volunteers. Doesn't hurt when your father's the co-president of the synagogue. But it's not uncommon for me to say, we really need somebody to do something, and Andrew to say, text Haylie, and then I text Haylie, and Haylie's like, I'll be there in 5 minutes. So we don't take that for granted either. You've been a great participant in our congregation. You've helped when we've asked. You jumped ahead to be a part of our teen group before you were really even able. And now you'll be at the University of Cincinnati, where all of her great knowledge from Temple got her to negotiate her own room at college. Anybody have their own bedroom their first year of college? So we're very proud that you were able to figure that out. She said that's not even my top choice. So keep reaching for the stars, and we hope that we get to hear you many times from our Bima. Haylie, please share your words with us this evening.
Okay, so I might go too fast. I tend to speak very fast, so bear with me if I do. Okay, so the last time I was up here on this Bima was when I was talking at my bat mitzvah, believe it or not. It's been a while, and I am still that scared girl to come up on stage and talk in front of a bunch of people. I was asked, what does Judaism mean to me? At first, I didn't know, and I probably still don't know. I mean, we all learn new things every day. Every day there's new information, whether it's what's the newest fashion sense or what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Since I have gotten older, I have been more aware of anti-Semitism. I knew it was always there. I just thought people would be better than back then. I feel like in today's world, we are moving backwards, not forward. I was never ashamed of being Jewish growing up. Maybe that's because I had good parents that raised me and taught me to never be ashamed of who I am. Who knows, but I was always open about being Jewish. No matter who I was with, they never treated me differently because of my Judaism. Being Jewish is about heritage, history, and ethnicity. As I think about this, I am confronted by the fact that I am Jewish and will remain Jewish no matter what. Because my father was Jewish and my grandparents before him, and I inherited this ancestry and identify whether I recognize it or not. However, regardless of whether I attend synagogue or Hebrew school or get bat mitzvah, I will always be Jewish. I can't hide from it, and I'm not going to change it. Being Jewish is special in the sense that it isn't just a religion, it's a nationality or a heritage from the past. Despite the hardships faced by the Jewish people in the past, I am extremely fortunate to be a descendant of Judaism. Jews have inherited the kingdom of Israel. They have made it their homeland and country. However, this benefit does not apply just to Israelis. In Israel, all Jews are welcome. equal and welcome and accepted. It does not matter where we live on earth or whether we participate in Judaism as a religion. We are one, with one common heritage. I guess what Judaism means to me is that no matter who you are or what you do, we will always be welcome to the community. We don't discriminate against someone on what they look like or what they believe in or what happened in the past, only what's going to happen in the future. I am a part of Temple Teen Night. One of my favorite memories of Temple Teen Night is going to New York. I was in 8th grade at the time. I loved everyone there. It was such a fun time. I remember the Statue of Liberty and going to synagogue and also bagels. There's one memory that I don't remember that well, but when I met with Rabbi Brown for going over today, we were talking about New York, and he told me that we were embarrassed him. Of course, not seriously. So I have no recollection of this, but I do have a bad memory. So he told me we went to go see Stomp on Broadway. I kind of remember that. Anyways, back to our hotel, we took to the subway home, and we saw one of the Stomp people. And of course, Anna Mark, Sonia, Samantha Hoffman, and Haylie thought he was cute. And what happened next, we went up to him and we talked to him and giggled like a couple of middle school girls with a crush. And of course I was in middle school, so that's understandable. When I met with Rabbi Brown, I said to him, I bet that was Sonia's idea, because that was a very Sonia thing to do. Anyways, I thought that was a cute story that I kind of remember with Temple Teen Night. I want to thank my mom and dad for helping me every step of the way to make me who I am. Thank you. Words cannot express how thankful I am for you guys. I know Morgan isn't here. She is in Israel, which is amazing, and I am proud of her, but I'd never tell that to her face. I want to thank also Rabbi Brown for planning this with me and Eric, and Cantor Kathy for working with us. Thank you.